What's up, folks? This is Bass Fishing episode number 7. You're here with me in my garage. I've got some really bright colored line here. I'm going to go through a whole Texas rig right here so you can see the whole thing, including the Palamar knot, okay? So first things first, I'm going to prep my lure. And I don't know if you can see right here this color. This color is called, these are Zoom brush hogs, full size. This is watermelon green and orange metal flake. So it's a light colored plastic with, I don't know if you can see the orange metal flake and the green metal flake in there, but this is probably, well, it's on a very, very short list of my favorite bluegill imitating colors, okay? So, like usual, particularly when I'm trying to simulate bluegill, I'm gonna start off with something that looks like a bluegill anyway, and then I'm gonna dip its tails and dip and dye. And you guys can see that magical transformation there. Maybe, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but now I have a very, very good bluegill imitation. Just to top things off, I'm gonna take the blue and dip just the tip of the head in the blue to simulate the blue gill flap that's on the side of a bluegill, okay? So that's about as good a bluegill imitation. I've got the blue gill plate, and those of you who've caught bluegill know that that's nearly the exact size of the gill plate on the side of a bluegill, and that's very much what their tail looks like underwater, is that sort of chartreuse color. Okay, now let's get started with our rig. My lure, I'm gonna set off to the side. Got my super bright colored line. Hopefully you can see that. Start off with your slip sinker facing like this, okay? So the lure is gonna be back here. So there's a bit of a divot right there in a slip sinker. That's where the nose of the lure goes. And this should be pointed up toward your rod tip. Like if the rod tip's over there, that's where this slip sinker ought to be pointed, okay? Now I've got my 5/0 mustad hook. Watch carefully on this. I'm gonna try to get close to the camera so you can see it. I'm gonna go through, turn around and go back through the eyelet. Okay, so now I got a hook on a loop. Eventually the lure is gonna go through this loop, okay? So keep your eyes on it. And get a little extra line here. Then I'm gonna take it, we got loop end, and this end going off toward the rod, this end's the tag end. I'm gonna tie the whole shooting match in a knot, okay? Just an overhand knot. Now, I could put the lure on there. That would just make it more complicated. I'm gonna reach through the loop, grab the hook, and come back through the loop. Watch. This is actually really important, is that you wet the line. It doesn't matter if the line's wet, if it's already been in the lake, you're not gonna catch any diseases. I haven't anyway. Anyway, you're gonna pull it tight. Make sure that it's nice and flush. This is saltwater line. This is 100-pound test line, so there we go. That's a Palamar knot. Now, this cannot slip, okay? So you're not going to lose fish on this deal at all. You're gonna clip the tag in. A pair of scissors here. I clip the tag in real close to the knot. Palamar knots don't slip, okay? So I've got it real tight like that. So then I'm gonna do like I normally do with a Texas rig. Go in about 1/4 of an inch. Come out of the lure. Work the lure on around. I like to cover the entire knot like that. That gives me the most weedless presentation. Measure where it's gonna be on the, measure where it's gonna be on the lure. Go straight up through it. Tuck the tip. Nice, straight hanging Texas rig. You want it to be nice and straight. If it's kinked, it's gonna A, not look right in the water, and B, it's gonna twist your line real bad, which could eventually lead to line breaks, particularly with braid. Anyway, so there I have, I'll show you the whole rig once it's finished. I've given a bass a lot of reasons to eat this. It's got a copper nose, kind of like a bluegill. It's got a bluegill plate, like a bluegill. It's got all the same colors as a bluegill. It's even got the kind of kicky little chartreuse tail like a bluegill. Looks a whole lot like a bluegill. And as summer progresses, this is a full-size lure. This is a big lure. Now, as summer progresses, the forage fish that the bass are eating are also getting bigger, right? And the bass is getting bigger. Bass is getting, you know, when we get into August, September, November, that bass is getting ready for wintertime. So he's trying to get, he or she being the bigger one, females are bigger in bass. He or she is trying to stock up for the winter. It's trying to eat as many calories, easy calories as possible. They don't want to have to chase stuff and expend a bunch of calories to get calories. So when you come along with this, like, looks like a bluegill, looks like its sucker that bass wants to jump out there and eat it. And it's just slowly plodding along, not paying attention, kicking around, looking like an easy meal, hopping around, maybe looks wounded a little bit. Boom, he grabs it, he or she. This is one of those key things. I should have mentioned this in another video, particularly with the longworms. You're gonna get one, a lot of times you're gonna get 1, 2, like that, boom, boom, boom. If you can wait for the second one, wait for the second one. A lot of times that's when you know that fish has got that in its mouth, or if you see the line move left or right. If the fish has got it enough that they're gonna swim off with it, they've got it. So if you see that line swim off left or right, boom, set the hook on them. There you go. That's rigging a whole Texas rig, front to back, how to tie a Palamar knot, and why we increase lure size as the temperature gets warmer.